So yesterday we have seen the Doppler effect when the observer is moving relative to a stationary source. Now we will see the same Doppler effect, how the frequency changes when the source is moving relative to a stationary observer. I mean, as you're standing on the platform and a train which is not going to stop in that station is approaching the platform, crossing and going away. So when the train approaches, it's giving siren. So that is a source in motion. You are the observer standing on the platform is stationary. So as the train approaches, you will find the increase in frequency. At the time of crossing, the frequency will be maximum, and when it recedes, when the train moves away from you, the frequency appears to decrease. So same case, let us discuss with the support of mathematics. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Fine. What is the number going on? Vamsi? Vamsi?
Sir, 7-4, sir.
Okay. 7-4 is to be done, huh?
Yes, sir.
So now, observer is at rest. Source is in motion. So here is the source. Here is the observer. And here is a wave which is reaching the observer from the source, and the wavelength is lambda naught, such that lambda naught is V by nu naught. Now, source approaches the observer. Source moves away from the observer. This is the source. Here is the observer. And this was the wave reaching the observer and enabling him to listen when both source and observer are at rest, what I have shown earlier. So that is given as lambda naught. Here also you can show it. Now, the observer is remaining stationary while the source started moving towards the observer with a speed Vs. Then the proposed distance to be covered by the sound waves to reach the observer will be reduced. Say in a unit time, let us suppose this distance is equal to lambda. So this, we call it as S1. This is the decrease in wavelength of the waves reaching the observer when the source approaches the observer. In the similar way, this is how the source is moving away from the observer with a speed Vs. And this is a position S2. So here is the waves reaching the observer. And this is the increase in wavelength. Here it is decrease in wavelength, whereas here it is increase in wavelength. The decrease or increase in wavelength is caused because of the motion of the source either towards or away from the observer. Therefore, delta lambda here is Vs by lambda. Vs by lambda naught. Now, the wavelength will become lambda naught minus delta lambda. So lambda naught, we wrote it as V by nu naught. Sorry, it should be wavelength is speed by frequency. So delta lambda is equal to Vs by nu naught. So this is lambda naught is V by nu naught minus delta lambda is Vs by nu naught. Therefore, I get V minus Vs by nu naught. Coming to this, lambda becomes lambda naught plus delta lambda. So this is V by nu naught plus Vs by nu naught. So it is V plus Vs by nu naught. Now, V naught or V is equal to nu naught into lambda naught implies nu naught is equal to V by lambda naught. So if you substitute in that, lambda will become V minus Vs by V by lambda naught. That is, lambda naught will be 1 minus Vs by V into lambda naught implies lambda wavelength is decreasing. Coming to this, yeah, V is equal to nu naught lambda naught. Same, nu naught is equal to V by lambda naught. Therefore, the wavelength becomes V plus Vs by V by lambda naught, or 1 plus Vs by V into lambda naught. So here lambda is increasing. So we got the expression for wavelength now. Next, frequency. Frequency nu is equal to V by lambda. So I'll be getting it as V by V minus Vs into nu naught. And in this case, V by V plus Vs into nu naught. So because denominator is decreasing, we'll be getting it as nu1 is greater than nu naught. Here nu2 is less than nu naught. So when the source is approaching the stationary observer, the frequency is increasing, while when the source is moving away from the observer, the frequency decreases. Just like earlier case, here is a source, observer is at rest, and the source is crossing and moving away. So while approaching, the frequency is nu1, while crossing it is nu naught maximum, while moving away it is nu2. So the change in apparent frequency when the source approaches a stationary observer, crosses him, and moves away from him, is delta nu is equal to nu1 minus nu2. So it is V nu naught is common, 1 by V minus Vs minus 1 by V plus Vs. So this is V into nu naught, V square minus Vs square, and this is V plus Vs minus V plus Vs. So finally I will be getting the change in frequency comes out to be 2 Vs into V by V square minus Vs square multiplied by nu naught. If Vs is very much less than V, then V square minus Vs square can be approximated to V square such that delta nu becomes 2 Vs into V by V square into nu naught. So finally, the simplified formula for change in frequency when a source approaches a stationary observer, crosses him and moves away from him is 2 Vs by V into nu naught. The same formula is used by Edwin Hubble in confirming the Doppler effect, this redshift. So in case of light waves, we get delta nu is equal to 2 Vs by C into nu naught. C is the speed of light. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Now tell me whether you have followed it or not. From the beginning, I am showing. Because source is moving here, there will be change. There's a apparent change in the wavelength, distance to be covered by the waves, as the source is either approaching or moving away from the observer. Note చేసుకున్నారా?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm there?
Sir, could you scroll down, sir?
Yeah, sure. Now tell me whether you understood or not.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Understood, sir.
Good. Till where?
Sir, the down part, sir. Change in the apparent frequency.
Okay. This one, I'm there?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, can you go a little more down, sir?
Hmm.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Completed, eh?
Sir, 1 minute,
Yes,
sir.
Hmm. They may ask fractional change or percentage change. In that case, delta nu by nu naught is equal to 2 Vs by V. If you want percentage in 200, that's all. So for studying Saturn rings, binary stars, redshift and all, this will be the formula used. So Edwin Hubble noticed decrease in frequency. From that, he said the galaxy containing the star is moving away from us. And then he said galaxies are receding, universe is expanding.
Yes, sir. Done, sir.
Okay, Vamdev completed that?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good. Now the last case in this fifth. Source and observer are in motion. So first of all, imagine that source is at rest, observer moves with a speed V naught. towards away. So let us call this frequency as mu1. It is V plus V naught by V into nu naught. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So nu1 dash will be V minus V naught by V into nu naught. Then
Yes, sir.
now the source moves relative to the observer. Of course, with a speed Vs. So whatever apparent frequency is heard by the observer when he is moving towards or away from the source will appear to be the actual frequency when the source is moving towards him. Therefore, nu becomes, it is V by V minus Vs into, in place of nu naught, it will be nu1 here. Similarly, here it becomes V by moving away, V plus Vs into nu1 dash. So substitute the formula for nu1 here. I'll be getting nu is equal to V by V minus Vs into nu1 V plus V naught by V into nu naught. So V is cancelled. Coming to this, V by V plus Vs into V minus V naught by V into nu naught. Therefore, the expression for apparent frequency when the source and observer are approaching each other is V plus V naught by V minus Vs into nu naught. And when both of them are moving away from each other, nu2 is equal to V minus V naught by V plus Vs into nu naught. So here nu1 is greater than nu naught. Here nu2 is less than nu naught.
Done, sir.
Okay. You can write general expression also here. The general expression for apparent frequency when the source moves relative to the observer is nu is equal to V by, when approaching, minus, when moves away, plus. So V minus R plus Vs into nu naught. Note cheskondi, general expression. You'll get minus when the source is approaching, plus when the source moves away. Okay?
Done, sir.
And the general expression for this can be written as V plus R minus V naught by V minus R plus Vs into nu naught. Plus in the numerator when observer approaches, minus in the denominator when source approaches, minus in the numerator when the observer moves away, plus in the denominator when the source moves away. Converse also can apply. Observer approaches, source moves away. So V plus V naught by V plus Vs into nu naught. Like that, this expression can be applied to any of these cases. Then, if the wind is blowing with the velocity Vw, then mu can be written as V plus or minus V naught plus or minus Vw by V minus R plus Vs plus or minus Vw into nu naught. Here I am assuming that sound and wind are flowing in the same direction. So sound waves and wind are blowing in the same direction, then this is the formula. Suppose if wind is blowing opposite to the velocity of sound, then this plus minus will interchange.
Done, sir.
Okay. So in this, different possible options will come. For example, this is a merry-go-round. Say some elephant, and you are the observer sitting on the elephant. So the merry-go-round is revolving. If the source of sound is at the center, then the frequency of the sound heard by the observer will be remaining same. Remember, suppose if the source of sound is somewhere outside, then it depends. Here it is approaching, here it is moving away. So V naught will be given as R omega, and the apparent frequency is given by V plus or minus R omega by V into nu naught. Here, when the observer is revolving with angular velocity omega. Of course, source is located outside the frame of rotation. Next, you are the observer here, and here is a circular ring to which a horn is attached. So when the source is approaching him with a speed Vs, the frequency will be nu1, and here when the source is moving away, the frequency will be nu2, such that nu1 will be V by V minus R omega into nu naught, and nu2 will be V by V plus R omega into nu naught. So the general expression for V, when the source is rotating in a rotating platform, is V by V minus R plus R omega into nu naught. Sometimes Observer may be somewhere here, and this is the source. So source is moving along this straight line with a velocity Vs. So you must take the component of velocity of the source along the line joining the source and observer. Imagine this is theta, then this will be component of velocity of source along the line joining source and observer is Vs cos theta. So the frequency when the source is approaching is given by V by V minus Vs cos theta into nu naught. Components of velocity of vectors you must apply. Here of course nu naught only, and when the source is receding, here nu2 becomes V by V plus Vs cos theta into nu naught. Like this basic formulae should be modified to suit the needs of the problems. Whatever he has given in the problem, yes, we should apply, and accordingly we should be able to solve it. Copied?
Yes, sir. Done, sir.
Good. Vamsi?
Sir, 1 minute, sir. Yes, sir, done, sir.
Okay. Last one. Characteristics of musical note. So first of all, every sound syllable can be categorized as music or noise. Music causes pleasing effect to the ears, whereas noise causes unpleasant effect to the ears. Now we have gone to the extent where we are estimating the noise levels, safe noise levels, and sound pollution. Now we are talking about sound pollution also in cities. Next, there are 3 characteristics. First one is loudness. Next, pitch. Third one is quality or timbre. So these are the 3 characteristics of a musical note. Loudness varies directly as log of intensity, and intensity varies directly as square of the amplitude. I for intensity, and A for amplitude. And the units of this loudness are named after Alexander Graham Bell, who invented the telephone. So the units are Bell and decibel. So safe limit of loudness is 80 decibels. If it crosses, it causes first temporary deafness, then permanent deafness, then increased pulse, heartbeat, BP, heart disorders. All these problems will come if the loudness increases these limits. So one characteristic of musical note is amplitude. So if the amplitude is more, the intensity of musical note will be more. Pitch depends on frequency. So my voice has got high pitch. Yes, Janaki's voice has got very high pitch. Lata Mangeshkar's voice has got very high pitch. So some people will have a flat tone. We can't identify whether it is a male or female. So those people, the very low frequency tones. So thus pitch depends directly on the frequency. Then you have two sound notes. Of same amplitude and frequency. Then how to identify? Say you're not exactly in front of the source. Two people are producing sound almost at the same frequency with same amplitude. Then how will you differentiate? This third characteristic of the musical note, quality or timbre, sound notes of same amplitude and frequency can be identified with the quality. So source producing sound can be identified. Using this characteristic quality only, you can identify me by hearing my voice. And using the quality only, we can confirm that this is the sound coming from the shehnai, this is the sound coming from the clarinet, this is the sound coming from flute, this is the sound coming from beats drum. So you are able to identify the sources with the help of this third characteristic of the sound called quality or timbre. Okay. So these are the characteristics of musical note. Then we'll we have to do the problems, right?
Yes, sir.
I think Anaga may join from tomorrow. Vamdev, am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So shall we start doing problems from tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
We'll wait
Yes,
for
sir.
today and we'll start doing problems from tomorrow. Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
What I advise you, list out all the formulae starting from the progressive wave equation. V is equal to nu lambda, phase difference is equal to 2 pi by lambda into path difference. All the formulae you list out and
Yes, sir.
learn them so that you can follow the problems fastly. Okay, na?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
After this, I think we started electromagnetism, right?
Yes, sir.
We could have completed that by this time. Because Anaga was telling I will come, that's why I thought of continuing it. Oh, okay. Next we'll take up that properties of solids and liquids. We'll complete that, and sometime coming Sunday, coming Saturday we'll have the Saturday or Sunday we'll have the class to complete that electromagnetism. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fine. Yesterday you had a math class, huh?
No, sir.
No, sir.
It's a Thursday and Saturday, you said. Which days you have?
Thursday and Friday, sir.
Okay, fine. I think chemistry also is there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll wait for today. Tomorrow we'll do the problems, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fine.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.